Muhammad Ali was an American boxer and civil rights campaigner. He earned the moniker The Greatest and is largely regarded as the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time.
I'm the greatest of all time.
Now you are watching the 20 most memorable moments in Muhammad Ali's career. 1. Following the theft of his bike, he decides to take up boxing. 1954. Muhammad Ali may never have been a boxer if it weren't for the promise of free food. He rode his red and white Schwinn bike to the Louisville Home Show, an expo for black entrepreneurs, when he was 12 years old so that he could partake in the free popcorn, hot dogs, and sweets. His bike, however, was not there when he returned. A random person gave him the advice to visit the Columbia Gym and talk to a police officer named Joe Martin. In his autobiography, The Greatest, Ali recalled, "I ran downstairs crying, but the sights, sounds, and smell of boxing excited me so much that I almost forgot about the bike." Before Clay walked away, Martin gave him a tap on the shoulder. Also, from 6 to 8 o'clock every Monday through Friday, we have boxing. If you're interested in joining, here's an application. 2. Wins his debut and is immediately labeled a potential heavyweight champion. 1954. Clay wasn't exactly a genius right out of the box. His first time in the ring was against an older opponent, and he swung so wildly that he bloodied his nose and had to be dragged out. When Martin said that he didn't know a left hook from a kick in the ass, he meant it. A month and a half later, on Martin's statewide television show Tomorrow's Champions, the 6'9" Clay defeated another beginner, Ronnie O'Keefe, through split decision. After that, Cassius Clay Sr. said, "My son is going to be another Joe Louis." Cassius Clay, undisputed heavyweight king of the world.
No special training, just be at the fight. I'm ready to back up everything I'm saying, and I'm through talking.
3. Gold at the Rome Olympics, 1960. Because of his fear of flying, Clay almost didn't make it to the Olympics, and even bought a parachute at an Army surplus store to wear. After winning his first 3 bouts easily, Clay found the final against 1956 bronze medalist Zbigniew Pietrzakowski more difficult, struggling to understand his opponent's southpaw stance before winning a majority decision. In his book, he wrote, "A few minutes earlier, I had fought a man almost to death because he had wanted to take it from me. Now I had thrown it in the river. Moreover, I had no negative emotions like sorrow or remorse, none other than relief and renewed fortitude." This story was completely made up. Actually, the truth was far more boring. He misplaced the medal. 4. Clay encounters wrestler Gorgeous George, 1961. Clay became pro and won 6 fights in less than a year. Then, while promoting his 8th match on a Las Vegas radio show, he met the wrestler Gorgeous George Wagner, whose skills in advertising brought in large crowds. George started shouting, "If this bum beats me, I'll crawl across the ring and cut off my hair. But it's not gonna happen because I'm the greatest fighter in the world," Ali recalled to his biographer Thomas Hauser. "And the whole time I was thinking, man, I hope this fight happens." Even though I didn't get a ticket, Gorgeous George's wrestling match was standing room only. And I realized then that if I talked more, people would pay any price to hear me out. 5. A boxing Nostradamus emerges from Clay, 1962. As time went on, Ali became more accurate in predicting the round of victory, with a streak of 7 out of 8 wins. When he stopped Don Warner in 4 rounds instead of the 5 he predicted in February 1962, Ali claimed he had ended the fight early because Warner had not shaken his hand. Success was being found in such advertising prowess. Boxing journalist A.J. Liebling was surprised to see sold-out signs and people being turned away when he arrived at Madison Square Garden 30 minutes before the first preliminary match of Clay's fight with Doug Jones.
This poem tells how it feels to be as great as me. This is it, the greatest short poem of all time. Me, wee.
6. Opens up emotionally against Henry Cooper, 1963. Wearing a gown with the words Cassius the Great on the front and a crown made of fake jewels, Clay strutted into Wembley like a king. Ali thought Cooper would go down in 5, but he favored a more drawn-out demise. But with only 5 seconds left in the 4th round, Cooper landed a left hook known as Henry's Hammer that knocked Clay out cold. As the bell rang, Clay went down and then back up. A cornerman poured ice on Clay's lower extremities, and his trainer, Angelo Dundee, notified the referee about a tear in Clay's glove. But Clay was still dazed. There were no substitute gloves, but the delay provided Ali a chance to recoup. Cooper's face was bloodied and bloody as predicted when a heart attack ended the bout in the 5th round. 7. He earns a battle with Sonny Liston, 1964. Clay was not only courageous, but also swift, good-looking, and witty.
And they come to see me get beat up, but I don't really think I'm pretty. I know I'm pretty.
After watching Sonny Liston lose at craps in Las Vegas shortly before the rematch with Floyd Patterson in 1963, Cassius Clay said at Liston, "Look at that big, ugly bear. He can't do anything right." What followed was as described by promoter Harold Conrad to Thomas Hauser. As a result, Liston drops the dice, approaches Clay, and yells, "Listen here, you nigger faggot. If you don't leave in 10 seconds, I'll take that enormous tongue of yours and shove it up your ass." Clay felt frightened. He got up and started walking. Later, though, he drove to Liston's Denver home and yelled at him from the driveway. The contract for the fight was signed soon after. Ali competed for the World Championship. 8. Winner of the World Heavyweight Championship, Clay boasts, "I shook the world." 1964.
Yes, I do, because of the world. That's a big thing to be, the #1 man in the world. And all I had to do was to go out and beat a man who had no skill, no class. Seriously, the man had no skill. I don't know why the world is so foolish to believe in him and think that I wasn't going to win.
Those soulless eyes of Liston's drained hope from his opponents before his fists robbed their consciousness, making him a true boxing dementor. After breaking his jaw in one of his 36 battles, he still didn't give up. Clay's heart rate was twice as fast as usual at the weigh-in. Many assumed he was frightened, but he had a strategy, as he told his doctor Ferdy Pacheco. "Liston is scared of no man, but he's scared of a nut because he doesn't know what I am going to do." He quickly learned. Clay was the more skilled boxer, and after Liston's gloves caught fire from oil of wintergreen during the 5th round, he eventually won the fight by forcing him to retire at the conclusion of the 6th. Clay then went to the press and claimed he had shook up the world. "I am the best there is. I am the most beautiful creature in the universe." He was 22.
Unscratched. I'm prettier than you, and you're a sports announcer.
9. Cassius Clay transforms into Muhammad Ali, 1964. Next comes the aftershock, right after the main quake. In 1959, Clay became curious about the black Muslims after seeing a newspaper vendor in Louisville shouting, "Muhammad speaks. Read it." In March of 1961, though, he finally went to a temple and started practicing seriously. Pacheco expressed it this way: "Until Ali came into camp, the black Muslims were considered a fringe lunatic organization. But Ali understood you did not fool with the Muslims. The power they possessed appealed to him." Clay refrained from making a public declaration of his conversion until after his bout with Liston. Days before, however, his enraged father, Cassius Clay Sr., who claimed the black Muslims had threatened to kill him, acknowledged that his son, who would subsequently be known as Cassius X and then Muhammad Ali, had actually joined the Nation of Islam.
Oh, I feel so good. Yes. I'll pray tonight and God will bless me, I hope, because I done a good deed today.
10. Ali reveals his dark side, 1965 and 1967. In their rematch, Ali knocked out Liston in the 1st round and then fought Patterson, who had previously told Sports Illustrated, "The image of a black Muslim as the world heavyweight champion disgraces the sport and nation." Ali fought back by first calling Patterson nothing but an Uncle Tom Negro, and then tormenting him for 12 rounds. Ali was equally as violent in his 1967 fight against Ernie Terrell, who had called him Cassius Clay, yelling, "What's my name?" after landing a punch.
Why don't you call me my name, man?
Well, what's your name? You told me your name was Cassius Clay a few
I
years
never
ago.
told you my name was Cassius Clay. My name is Muhammad Ali, and you will announce it right there in the center of that ring after the fight if you don't do it now.
It was a bad fight, nasty with the evil of religious fanaticism, the author Jimmy Cannon said. The competition was not in any way physical, a lynching in a sense. 11. I don't have a problem with the Viet Cong, 1966. In 1964, Ali attempted and failed the military exam twice due to his low intelligence. His IQ was 78. Ali shot back, "I said I was the greatest, not the smartest." However, the Army loosened their requirements in the beginning of 1966, making him eligible for the draft. Ali exploded after reporters had questioned him for hours about his stance on the Vietnam War. "Man, I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." White Americans already detested him for being a black Muslim, and now they said he was trying to avoid the draft. 12. Ali spread his wings out of America, 1966.
My prediction for the next fight is I'll be there.
Since Jack Johnson's loss to Jess Willard in Havana in 1915, just 2 heavyweight title fights have taken place outside of the United States, in both cases in 1966. Despite this, Ali continued to defend his title by fighting outside of the United States, first in Canada against George Chuvalo, then in England against Henry Cooper, twice, and Brian London, and last in Germany against Karl Mildenberger. The magazine Boxing Illustrated wrote, "He is a fine goodwill ambassador in foreign lands, well loved by the boxing public, who care nothing for his private beliefs." 13. Unveiling the Ali Shuffle, 1966. Although Cleveland Big Cat Williams was already a shell after losing a kidney and undergoing 4 operations after being wounded in 1964, Ali returned to America and performed one of the finest visual performances of his career by stopping Williams in 3 rounds. Ali knocked him down 4 times and introduced a new dance craze, the Ali Shuffle, which he boasted was more popular than the twist. Now, few people questioned his authority. Boxing Illustrated wrote, "Many members of the press corps have found ways and means to find fault with Ali. He can't punch, he can't take a punch, he is too flashy, he makes a lot of amateurish mistakes, anything to avoid giving him credit. Almost no one now questions it."
I don't like fighters who talk too much.
14. Boxing ban and incarceration, 1967 to 1968. Ali questioned, "How can I kill somebody when I pray 5 times a day for peace?" As the events leading to his suspension from boxing and the loss of his heavyweight title in 1967 unfolded over the course of a few frantic months. A year later, he spent 10 days in jail for driving without a license in Miami-Dade County, where he fed death row inmates. He said that the stench was so bad that he had to cover his nose while writing. "The first guy who sees me is like, well, I'll be goddamned. They are expecting the world heavyweight champion to attend dinner. The end of the world is near." The philosopher Bertrand Russell wrote to reassure him that the air will change. "I can feel it." It actually occurred. However, the Supreme Court did find that Ali may return to fighting in June of 1970.
Good luck. I hope it's not an act. I hope you mean it.
If it's an act, just look at my record and see if there have the other fights been acts. Have they been acts?
Not so far.
Well, what makes you think I'm acting?
15. A Fight to Remember, 1971. The public's opinion had changed by the time Ali returned from exile. The exile taught people that Ali was real, said boxing historian Jim Jacobs. So now he was the underdog. People who had never been into boxing suddenly found inspiration in him. However, it had weakened his abilities. Ali and the new champion Joe Frazier went to town at Madison Square Garden. Ali, however, was not quite as nimble or sharp, and Frazier eventually came up with him, eventually down Ali with a left hook in the 15th round. When Ali was dumped into 50,000 newspaper photographs, singing to the siren in the mistiest fogs of Queer Street, as Norman Mailer put it, the world took notice. He stood up, but the vote was against him. 16. Retrieves championship at Rumble in the Jungle, 1974. Ali's entourage of supporters didn't think he could defeat George Foreman. Seeing the tension in the room, he questioned, "What's wrong around here? Who else is terrified? Scared? Something so insignificant? It's just like any other workout." Following his 2-round demolition of Frazier, Foreman planned to do the same thing to the 32-year-old Ali. Ali, however, sat back on the slack ropes, the legendary rope-a-dope, and waited for Foreman to tire himself out before finishing him off. In Mailer's words, by day 6 Foreman was lumps and swellings all over his face, his skin equal to tar that has baked in the sun.
Somebody told me George Foreman was awful strong. I said he should try Ban Roll-On. That's a deodorant.
With 20 seconds left in the 8th, Ali unleashed a flurry of blows, sending Foreman tumbling to the canvas. David Frost, providing commentary, proclaimed, "The great man has done it. The greatest celebration ever saw in a boxing match."
The man to beat me haven't been born yet.
17. The Manila Clash, 1975. Ali had referred to Frazier as the wrong kind of Negro prior to their first bout. That's because he's the Uncle Tom, and I'm not. He is an ally of the adversary. He was equally as vindictive as ever before their third bout. referring to Frazier as a dumb, ugly gorilla.
Joe Frazier's so ugly, his face should be donated to the Bureau of Wildlife.
The 10 a.m. battle, held in the scorching sun, was either a violent classic or, considering what happened to both men afterwards, unpleasant to behold. Ali gained the early lead. Frazier rebounded but lost in the 13th when he lost his concentration and was beaten badly. Frazier's trainer, Eddie Futch, stopped the fight at the end of the 14th round, telling his client, "No one will forget what you did here today." Ali later said that this was the closest he had ever been to dying. 18. Ali wins 3 consecutive heavyweight titles. 1978.
Donated by His Excellency Ferdinand E. Marshall.
Ali was 36 at the time, which equated to an even older man in the ring. His loss of the title to Leon Spinks, a 7-fight rookie, was one of the least inspired displays of his career. However, he was less sluggish in the second bout, becoming the first man to win the heavyweight title 3 times. And then he said, "I suffered and sacrificed more than I ever did," and Ali announced he was retiring. "There's no use in continuing this fight. I have nothing to lose." 19. A terrible evening versus Larry Holmes, 1980. Despite his best efforts, Ali succumbed to his opponent. He had taken a large amount of diuretics in preparation for his bout against Holmes, his former sparring partner and the current champion. However, thereafter, Ali revealed that the medications had depleted him. "In the last 2 days, I couldn't jog a mile. Already exhausted after the first round, I dreaded the last 14. His trainer, Angelo Dundee, wanted to stop the fight at the end of the 10th, but Ali's chief sidekick, Drew Bundini Brown, fought to keep it going. The victor was Dundee. Ali bowed his head and could muster no objections. There was not a single round that the judges gave him victory in. 20. Atlanta and a reevaluation, 1996 to present day. Although many people consider Ali a saint, noted author Mark Cram wrote in his book, Ghosts of Manila, that he was no more a social force than Frank Sinatra. His racial epithets were held by the politically hip like they were the words of a prophet. Due to the current climate, he would be seen as a sexual profligate, a user of hate speech, and a contamination. When it was discovered that Ali, with his left hand trembling involuntarily due to Parkinson's illness, would be the one to ignite the Olympic flame in Atlanta, the crowd's reaction, continuous noise, tears, and a massive outpouring of love showed just how much Ali was now revered.
All of the times together, I've enjoyed them. You're a very special man, with a very special meaning.
Thank you.
To all of the American people.
Thank you.
I congratulate you. It's my honor. Your name is Muhammad Ali.
So, what do you think of Muhammad Ali? Is he still the greatest athlete of all time? Leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe for more inspirational icon story. Thank you for watching.
Who am I? All right, what's happening? Give me a shake. Give me 5. Would give you 30, but your face is too dirty.